we're seeing a lot of information here. Let's go back and put that back where it was in the, I think it was the Q frequency response.
That's fine.
I want to learn about the logging features in the transmitter.
Well, with the logging feature, it's as simple as pressing the log button at the bottom of the screen. When you go into that screen, it'll show you a device type or device. These are basically filters that allow you to basically get down right to the device type that you're looking for. If you know you have a Module 1 problem, you don't want to be confused with all the various other alarms or events that may have occurred in the time being. So you can actually open it, select controller, exciter, or power module. Device type is basically high-level filter for device. If you were to go in device, then it actually breaks down to the various devices that are in the system. So we have controller, exciter A, B, module 1 through 16.
Okay. How much data can you store in the log, Scott?
Well, the log file itself for each entry is actually very small from a capacity standpoint. It's probably only a few bytes, actually. So we can store, and I think I've seen the highest number was about 18,000 entries.
Holy mackerel.
So I think it would have gone more than that.
Yeah, and you can retrieve these logs.
You can retrieve them. Yes, you can.
Okay. Okay. So here's where you would change your exciter.
Actually, you'd go into the menu. The menu gives you the list of all the various kind of primary functions that are available.
Right.
So in this case, if you wanted to change your exciter, assuming you had a dual exciter in this system,
right,
where that would have been selected as yes,
okay,
you would arm your changeover here, and in this case, if you had a failure on A, it would automatically change over to B.
As software upgrades to the AUI come out, Scott, or to other parts of the system, how are those distributed to the users?
Well, at present, it's actually quite simple. In the software configuration screen, there's what's called an upgrade software. We can do this various ways. You can actually browse for a specific file if we've already provided what's called a TGV file on your internal network. You browse for it, similar to what you would do in Windows, and you upload the file. This is the actual image of the TGV file that's running on this system right now.
Okay.
So with respect to the upgrade process, as soon as you have that file in the bin, you select it and you begin flash.
Okay.
The transmitter will run through the flash sequence where it actually upgrades modules, exciter, AUI, server, and controller, and all at the push of a button, quite literally.
Now, we might be scaring some people. I mean, this is, after all, a computer.
Yep.
What happens if the AUI dies?
Well, as mentioned earlier, the transmitter controller has a full set of redundant controls. The transmitter will keep operating. It is not dependent solely on the AUI to keep running.
So that's the fields that we were talking about in the AUI, just kind of describing what each of them are, and the set points and the instrument panel. And one of the things about the instrument panel that I think is interesting is that the AUI is a basic framework, isn't it? I mean, we can add more things to the functionality of this and upgrade things in the future, add new features.
Very configurable.
Yep. Yep. Okay. We should also talk about the fact that the NV series was actually designed from the ground up for digital.
That's right. And something to consider is that even though you have an NV system that is analog, it's quite simple to upgrade. You simply plug an X-Gen card into your exciter and you're digital ready. All of our transmitters are tested to ensure that upgrading to digital is seamless when the time comes.
We're also talking on the screen here about the HD Power Boost, the technology that we have developed, which allows us to get more power out of a transmitter at higher efficiency, particularly when you get to things like -10.
That's correct, limiting those peaks that otherwise aren't necessary.
And the Exporter Plus is the embedded exporter. It doesn't have a computer screen, it doesn't have a mouse, it doesn't have a keyboard, but it's a very slim exporter that's very reliable.
That's right, it is very reliable.
And it's shipping now. So the reliable HD transport, reliable HD transport won a bunch of awards at the shows. It is a device that allows us to improve the robustness of the links between the studio and the transmitter site.
That's right. Capacity, traffic, all of those factors are issues that this box will help mitigate.
And that works for just about anybody's product.
That's right.
Fact. Okay, so what's in it for me? Why should I look at the NV series?
Well, because of the built-in redundancy, the small footprint. I mean, our hope is that customers don't have to visit their site. If they choose to log in and monitor the status of their transmitter, the expectation is that that transmitter is going to be running. Engineering efforts, things cost, and we don't want them to have to worry about replacing things and dealing with, a lemon. We have a reliable transmitter. The instrumentation makes it very easy to troubleshoot those problems. Minus 10 dB and the various power levels that we have obviously would fit into most customers' needs. The modules are common amongst the platform, and again, the size speaks for itself. It's very small.
Okay. So let's talk about the availability. We're shipping these now. The NV series is going out. We've got over 200 sold. They're on the air all across the United States and increasingly around the world at this point.
Yeah, it's been very well received.
It's a very, very busy factory here in Nova Scotia. And I mentioned that it's our 40th anniversary, our birthday party, but the gift this year is going to the customers.
That's right. They should be very excited about this.
We are actually providing a 5-year warranty for all new purchases of the NV series and the NX series, which happened during the year 2009. Nobody's done that before. And it was interesting that this idea actually came from Kevin Rogers, the head of our customer service department. And he said, I am so convinced about the reliability of this transmitter that we should offer this as a gift to our customers.
Great.
So if you want to learn more about the NV series transmitters, you can find out more at www.nautel.com, our website. You can send us an email at sales@nautel.com. And you can also talk to any of our crew of salespeople, a wonderful group: Gary Mantufel, Wendell Lonergan, Jeff Welton, Gary Liebisch, John Bissett, Ellis Terry, Gerardo Vargas, Steve Schmidt, John Abnauer, and myself, Chuck Kelly, are ready to answer your questions. Now, speaking of questions, let's go back and see if anybody has asked any questions. There's a person here who's making a comment that he sure hopes the AUI is using Linux, not Windows.
It is.
Okay.
That you can be certain.
No Microsoft sound coming out of the Nautel transmitter. Okay. Let's see here. Can we get this without iBox?
Yes, of course. All of our transmitters are analog only ready.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. They want to understand what the AUI stands for.
That's Advanced User Interface.
Okay. Looking for questions here. What format are the logs in? Can they be easily imported into a spreadsheet?
Actually, we are working on that right now, and they will be, the format I'm not 100% certain of right now, but I know for sure that it is exportable to an Excel spreadsheet.
It's a good question from Chris. It says, any special tools required to field service the RF modules?
Just a screwdriver, and that's about it, actually. There's not really much.
Really, there's two levels of it, isn't there? I mean, the actual module you can pull out and put in relatively quickly and easily. If you want to change the RF device,
everything is easily accessible.
Okay. Okay. And it's the same, or it's a similar module to the one that's got so much experience in the V-Series around the world.
That's right.
Okay. There's a compliment about our Jeff Welton, who says that he's an awesome technical person.
That must be Jeff.
There's Jeff. That's right. Is the IPA the exact same thing as the PA?
It is, actually. It's the exact same amplifier.
Okay. Here's a question. How accurate is the test equipment, for instance, the spectrum analyzer?
Well, we've compared it to high accuracy, industry standard spectrum analyzers, such as HPs and Agilents. And to be quite frank, within that span, they are spot on.
Thanks to Dominic for that question. Let's see if we've got, I think that's the last. I believe that is the, oh, no, there's more. Hold on. Are the power supply modules field serviceable?
Currently, we are dealing with that on a warranty basis. So you
for the first 5 years?
For the first 5 years, yes. You would return your power supplies if you were to have any problems.
Okay. What bandwidth of internet connection is recommended for remote access?
Very little, actually. A normal web access, anything you do to do normal browsing would be adequate for this.